So here I am getting a phone call, uh, and then I'm like, how do I tell this to my wife?
You just
Right?
lost $125,000.
Oh, in my mind, I lost 215K.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Hey, it's Ryan Cooper, the producer of the Xplor Show. In this week's episode, we took a clip from an old podcast featuring Terrell Jolly, or TJ as we call him. TJ specializes in real estate investing utilizing the Abandoned Housing Act here in Kansas City, and he shares some horror stories from some investing days where he almost lost a ton of money. And so we thought that'd be fun to share those stories with you again, and let's jump right into it and get to the show.
One or two year horror stories when it comes to these Abandoned Housing Act properties.
Well, one that I probably wouldn't be sitting on the show today at all, because I would have to be at another lumber yard or probably McDonald's. Hell, I don't know. I'll be somewhere working. Um, it's crazy how sometimes the Lord tests your will and see if you're faithful. Right when I was making that transition from the 9 to 5 to jump into this full time, I had found a property over on the street called Bell Fountain. I had finished a project down the street. Actually, the attorney said, "Hey, this one qualifies too. You want to do this one?" We opened the case. He didn't. He dropped the ball, man. I mean, it's really no other way to put it. He dropped the ball on his litigation and different things like that. I am 125K in the middle of the pandemic. In the middle of the pandemic, 125K in. Somebody walks off the street and says, "I have rights to the property." All right, what? So now we got litigation. This is, you hear, I hate to keep referencing bigger projects, but Brandon, I would say build your team, build your team. I didn't know what the importance of a real estate lawyer until then. That
Yep.
was that whole thing shifted because I thought legal aid was on my side. Not to say they was against me, but legal aid doesn't have my fiduciary duty in
No.
front of them. They are the attorney for the community, not me. So
Yep.
here I got 125K hanging out there.
No deed to the house.
No deed to the house. They lose the case. They lost it. They lost the
Who
case.
lost it?
Legal aid.
Legal aid lost the case. I had engaged an attorney, my attorney. I love him today, Kevin Odrasky.
Shout out Kevin.
Yeah, shout out to Kevin. This house was completely done, leased up, had got an appraisal because I believe in getting an appraisal for the appraiser. It appraised at 215. I had a person that was living there that was down their luck, gave them an opportunity to rent. Now I'm looking like a criminal because they in the house. Now this other person is coming off the street. By the way, the house that we opened the lawsuit against, the owner was in jail for life for killing an FBI agent. So
Man,
we know it is not his house.
there's some bad juju on this property.
Some relative come off the street and said it's their property, whatever. So they lose the case because they did not ask for possession. They asked for reimbursement. Some crazy stuff. I don't know. It didn't make any sense. So here I am getting a phone call, and then I'm like, how do I tell this to my wife?
You just lost $125,000.
Oh, in my mind, I lost 215K.
Yeah.
Right. You just scored 250.
I didn't lost 250. I said, well, so I went upstairs. I said, honey, have you ever saw somebody that lost 200,000 in one day? She said, what are you talking about? I was like, we lost the house. I've been working on it. And she was like, she kind of looked at me like she still wasn't gathering what I was saying. because you got to understand this had been out so long. I'm strapped for gas because I got other projects going. Well, long story short, man, my experienced attorney got engaged with legal aid, coached him up, some other help from a great, what I think this guy almost created a abandoned house, a guy named Greg Lombardi came in and did some things, and man, it got overturned, man, and that was
Stressful period in your life.
man, and you know what's so crazy, Scott and Ryan, you won't believe this. I'm going to court tomorrow on the same type of issue.
Oh no.
Oh my
This time,
gosh.
$70,000.
So
Jesus.
this happens to you. You about to lose all that. You almost lost all that money. You got
Yeah.
saved. What
Yeah.
motivates you to continue? Because you won, or does it not like terrify you? Or like your wife, is she not like, hey, well, we need to do something else?
No, you never gave us your wife's response either. Like,
Yeah.
let's finish that part out.
But she just, like your spouse don't really understand what you're saying because she's not feeling it.
She's
And
not in the field.
she's not feeling it, whatever, lights are still on, for a little while and different things like that. With nothing changed. But I have to be honest, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that situation because I didn't know I could survive. So now, to answer your question, it's like, phew, I took that, bring on whatever next. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's get it again.
And it's because you truly believe in your mission. And when you wholeheartedly believe in what your mission and what you're doing, the reality is like you're gonna have bumps and bruises, you're gonna run into some dead ends. And if you're truly passionate about that, you're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're doing.
And my thing is, like, man, I'm telling you, I'm doing all I can to do right. I'm not trying to do
Exactly.
anything wrong. So, my faith.
And that's why the city and these people are behind you too. Like, they're going to overrule or really look at this case, in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's like, look, this guy is really doing what's right. How do we help him get this figured out and not cost him a fortune in lawyer fees, not make it sit forever? Because the reality is we kind of want this for the community. So we need to push it along and get this done and get it done right.
And Scott, I wish everybody really thought like you, but like when I actually had to go to trial on this thing, and the other attorney on the opposite side was like one of those pro bono attorneys, like if you win, I win. And he went on my Facebook and saw I belonged to an investment group on Facebook, and he painted me out to
Tore
be
you
a
apart.
big time investor that was just buying and taking stuff and all this other stuff. And I was just like, that's amazing perception and reality, right? So it was just a really interesting. So that alone had humbled me. That was a very, very, very scary moment. Another moment is I just don't sleep. I don't sleep. I don't sleep the same anymore. Ever since I've been doing this, is because you have different things that's moving out of there over there, and man, people just take, man. Like
Oh,
you
they
know,
take.
they just take. They just take. From HVAC systems to stuff. I mean, it's just always something. The building I'm sitting here right now. It was it New Year's or Christmas? No, it was the day after Christmas or something. We get a phone call because now I have a strategic plan, right? So we do all the rough end stuff or whatever, get the walls up, and then I'm putting a hardwire alarm system, in just so I can. That's the only way I can sleep. So if my phone buzzing, we can know exactly what happens. But literally, I get a phone call like the building is on fire. I'm like, there's no way the building's on fire. So I pull up the cameras. I don't see any building on fire. But next thing I see is some guys opening the door and letting the fire department in. Now this building was vacant up to 2 months ago. And I'm thinking like, who is that? So I'm on the phone with the police department, like, hey, listen, it's two guys in the building and they letting people in this property. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I fly over here and come to find out the contractor didn't lock the windows, and these people was in here sleeping, you know. And I was just like, this is unbelievable. You know, they thank God they didn't tear steal anything away, but it's just all those different things. But it's part of the game, man.